Well, it's good to see you, by the way.
You too.
I'm genuinely curious because as an audience member, I knew nothing about the story.
Yeah.
So as the reveals occur, I'm like just jaw dropped. I'm wondering, when you first read the script, at what point do you figure it out? Like, do you figure it out?
Kind of about the time you guys do.
Interesting.
Yeah, I didn't really realize what was happening. I had no idea, actually, what was happening. And sort of, there were times where I started to understand how it could be perceived, but as it unfolded, it really became like I had to immediately go back, read it again, and think of the performance in a completely different manner. And that rarely happens, where I get to the end and I go, oh wow, I actually have to go back and rethink what I thought this was.
Oh yeah, that's interesting.
So yeah, it was really wonderful.
Obviously, you read a script, you know what's happening, so then now you have to go back and play it as if you don't know.
Yeah,
what's
you have
going
to forget. Yeah, I'm like, oh wait, this script is amazing, and I went to go reread it again. I'm like, wait a minute, why am I doing this? Because I have to unforget everything I've seen and heard and certain things, you know. So, yeah, it's one of those things that we couldn't talk about. We just what to steer away from, what to steer towards, and it was balancing a fine line, shooting this picture outside, just telling the story that there's A and B stories here, then there's stuff with what's happened to Amy's character in her past, and then what's currently happening in our world right now, So.
Now, the sequences when you guys are actually in the spaceships, I mean, it's brilliant what Denis did. I think he's one of the greatest filmmakers of our time.
Agree.
Prisoner's Enemy and everything he's done.
I agree.
How are they shooting it to make it look like you're floating and or being like blown back by explosions? Are you like, are they maneuvering the camera a certain way?
There's a little bit of camera maneuvering. Some of it was a surprise to me. Like, I didn't know we were going to be upside down, but that was kind of a cool reveal. Like, I saw that and I was like, oh, that's really cool. Yeah. But then a lot of it, there was some wire work, a little bit, like for the explosion, they did a little bit of wire work, but a lot of it is just done now through, tricky camera angles and, some amazing CG artists that allow for us to sort of participate in their world in that way.
How are they doing the moments where you're like blown back from the explosion? That's in the trailers. I'm not giving anything away, but how did they shoot that?
That was on like a little strange little rig. It's all certain stunt stuff. Just turn the camera one way and like shooting through this way.
That's cool.
Some things CGI, they have obviously, but there's a few practical little stunts, but most of it was done, through a CGI thing or having just a clever framing of what he did,
You have a great line in the movie where you say that there are days that define your story beyond your life. I thought that was an interesting line because I feel like I think anybody has that moment. I'm wondering for you personally or as an actress, like, do you have moments like that you feel are similar to how your character maybe felt about this? I know it's completely fictional.
No, I know. I don't know, because I don't know that we're meant to see that. I think that I'm telling this story abstractly to my daughter, to help her understand why I made the choice I made. Like it's sort of therapeutic in a way, and it's sort of, but I think in our own lives, the stories that are beyond our life, will we ever actually know? Like, there are stories that define my life, like maybe someone's experience with a piece of work that I've done, or maybe it's just something, my daughter said to somebody, that defines them or sort of sets them in a different path. It's stuff that I don't know that we're meant to know,
That's awesome.
Kind of just, what they say about the butterfly flapping the wing.
I feel like if you look in your own lives, are there moments that you can kind of compare that feeling to in regards to like days that have defined your life beyond your story? Just, I guess as a person, but also as an actor?
Yeah, I think that's like sort of any sort of milestones that kind of define who I am and what I'll ultimately maybe be, or make decisions to kind of what I'll be, or certainly, there's giant milestones in my life for sure. I know those are things that are always swimming around in my brain and every fiber of my body that allow me to make my decisions forward.
Anything in particular, like just like one particular one?
Fatherhood, it's a certain, success I've had in certain aspects of my life, and to me, it's always, it's simple things, man. It's like, I'm always reminded when I see anybody do this on their phone, and like I see how disconnected everybody is, even though they're trying to be connected. they're missing out what's right in front of them sometimes, or half the time, or all the time. I'm always reminded constantly of the things that kind of I want in my life and what I don't want in my life. And all those milestones support that, and hopefully kind of continue that direction.
I think the score in the film is brilliant.
Jeez.
I
mean, it's one of those things,
right.
man.
It's a leading character.
It really is.
Right.
It's one of those things that knocks me on my
Same
butt.
thing with Sicario. Is the same. And I'm wondering, like,
And it's understated, right? It's one of
Right.
those things. It's not like it
freaks me out.
It really does. It's so funny you say that, because this is one of those films that, even like The Hurt Locker, had very little score to it, but like this, it's done in such an effective way in The Arrival, where, because I had seen the film once, and I go back in for the last 5 minutes before I have to go do a Q&A or something, and I'm like, in the beginning of the film, same thing. It's that.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful, beautiful score.
That's my question, because I would actually consider the score a leading character, just like you and Amy.
Absolutely.
And I'm wondering, do you know any of the score when you're performing? They don't
No,
give you any of that.
No, that's all post-production stuff, you know. That's, yeah. We don't, all we know is character and the story and humanity and tension, that sort of stuff. That's our job. And everybody else really delicately just added on stuff like that score, man. It's
Sick.
just so good. And the director of photography was so great. I mean, it's a oiled, fine-tuned machine that put this movie together. It's very thoughtful, and I think they did a really wonderful job with it.
I have to tell you this because I've been waiting a long time to tell you this.
Okay.
I saw Batman vs. Superman 4 times.
Yes.
I
Thank
freaking
you.
love Zack Snyder.
I do too. I absolutely do.
I think I'm wondering, did you see the unrated version where they expanded your story with the bullet and everything? Have you seen that version?
No,
of it
no,
yet?
I shot that version,
I know you
so
did,
I'm
yeah.
familiar.
You know it, yeah.
I know it. Yeah.
Yeah, but what did you think? What did you think about, like, the difference between the two versions in regards to what you saw in theaters versus?
Well, I mean, I always like when you put more Lois in, just
Yeah.
selfishly. Like, I think, she had a really great storyline, but I get it. I mean, you're dealing with runtime in theaters and all of that, so I never sort of take it personally. But I, of course, love, like, Lois has such a wonderful sort of history of being active, so I like it when
Yeah.
you get to see that.
Yeah, they explained the bullet. It's so awesome.
Yeah,
that movie
yeah.
is amazing.
Thank
you did such a
you.
wonderful
I love
job.
it. Thank
Yeah,
you. I hope you like
congratulations to
Justice
you.
League.
I
Yeah,
can't wait to
thank
see
you.
it. Are you done shooting that?
Yeah.
Oh my god.